to the Spicy Booknook, where we discuss all of our favorite and not so favorite dark and dirty book series. We're your hosts, Aj.
And Tay. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today we will be reviewing Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. Please be aware that there will be spoilers and explicit content for mature audiences only.
Trigger warnings for this include mentions of rape, incest, suicide, pedophilia, PTSD, depression, anxiety, violence, and murder.
Jesus.
All right, yeah.
I didn't look at the cover hard enough because the cover gave me everything I needed to know for this book, and I didn't I didn't realize that it was going to be what it was. But I enjoyed it. I definitely did. I would give this book um I really have no complaints about it at all.
I
Um
went in so
I
blind to this book. Like, I didn't read the back of the book, didn't like nothing. It was just like went
I
in a
feel like that's
complete.
normal for us. Like I never read anything about a
Yeah.
book. I'm just like,
I'm
book,
like,
read it.
yeah. So we just like went in, and I was like, oh, this is like not what I expected, because I literally had no clue what the fuck we were reading anyway. So it was completely
Okay.
unexpected.
What were you thinking it was going to be?
I don't know, because by the cover, I was like, okay. I'm like, maybe she's like lost at sea and ends up, stumbling upon somewhere, and something fucking happens. I don't know.
I thought like she'd be like shipwrecked and like find like a pirate like dude at a lighthouse or something and like, he tie her up and BDSM her or something. But like that was literally what I was going into this book
That's a good,
expecting.
yeah. That's good. That's a good one.
But
Yeah,
it was not that at all.
it wasn't that bad. Like, can I just say, Enzo, my man, my man, my man.
I liked
Uh,
Enzo. I really did. And like I read some on the Kindle and then some like through audiobook or through
The
Audible.
audio book
And
was
he did
hitting
good.
for this
He did good.
girl. Who
I
I'm
have
like,
to say HD.
whoever they got to voice this man, hitting hitting on the audiobook. Okay, because I was reading it. I did both too. I was like reading it, and then I put on the Kindle, and I was like, who the fuck is this man in my ear? Who is this? Because
He,
they did great. They
he
did
did
great.
great. Yeah, he did
Great.
really great because the reading we went this is our second HD Carlton book. So I was very iffy about pulling up that Audible book because I hated Zaid on the last book. Like it was horrible for me. So to get this one, I was surprised and very much happy and satisfied because he voiced that character so well that I
Ooh,
was like, the audiobook like is better than just reading right now. And
I was
normally I'm not like that.
that.
Normally I'm like, I'd rather read it myself, but
Yeah.
if I can't, I can't. But for this one, I was like, okay, I can listen to the audible book all day because he did so good. Like he made me happy.
I was like, why my heart beating all fast? What's going on? Who is this man?
He talking to me crazy.
I'm right. I'm like, who is this man? And then every time they had the language switch, I just died a
Oh,
little.
I'm like, he was just out here speaking in a whole nother language, and I'm standing here like, baby, keep it going, okay?
So, pretty much, a short little synopsis of this story is we have our main character, Sawyer, and she had a troubled past. There's some stuff that happened, so she's pretty much on the run. And so she ends up in, where are they? In Australia, right?
Yes.
Yes, so she ends up in Australia, and she's pretty much just there because she was supposed to take a flight to Indonesia, but she seen someone that she knew at the airport, so she had to make a run for it because apparently people is looking for her. So she ends up meeting Enzo, and they sleep together, and it is the best sex of her life. Of
Mm.
her life, just 10 out of 10,
Baby was
amazing.
squirting, okay? She was
Like,
wet in the bed.
literally just amazing, 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 10 out of 10. And she wakes up and she feels so bad because she has to rob this man because her life, the way her life set up, she need money and she need credit cards and stuff. So unfortunately, she goes through his stuff and she takes a picture of like his ID and other documents that she finds in the drawer so that she can get a credit card in his name. So she got to rob this man and like she may be like fucking up his identity a little bit, stealing his identity. And
You
so
know,
she goes on about her day. You know, she doesn't think she'll ever see this man again. So, I was like, girl, what are the chances that you'll never see him again? Like, if you're staying in Australia, then
in the same area you fuck this
like,
man. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure y'all gonna run into each other
And
once or
so
twice.
she sees him another time, and he knows that she stole his
Oh,
identity.
he was so sneaky.
He
Oh
was
my
he
god.
don't say nothing. He's like, let's go on a boat. He invites her onto the boat, and they cruise in. And then he like asks her to strip down, and they start. He's trying to scare her on purpose because she fucking robbed him, and so he like hangs her off the boat, don't he?
Yeah.
And like he's like trying to fuck her, but like where she's like hanging off the boat, so she's like terrified,
Oh
and
yeah.
then he pretty much admits to her like that he knows that she stole from him. And then there's a storm. Shit gets crazy. She ends up having to swim him to this like small little island where there's like a lighthouse, and she swims him up
Yeah.
there, and they are stranded. And
Did
there is,
he not try to drown her too after he hung her off the boat?
yeah, I think he did try to drown her because he was like, I mean, bitch, you try to fuck up my life, like.
Like,
So, like, I don't want to say rightfully so, but like, come on,
rightfully so, girl.
like. And then they end up stranded on this island together, and it's terrible because like they fucking hate each other, but there's so much sexual tension because that was like the best sex that she's ever had.
Either one of both of them were
For
talking
both
about
of
how
them,
great it was.
like they both are just like hate each other. She's like, you didn't try to kill me. Now I'm stranded here with you. He's like, bitch, you try to steal my identity. You're a fucking thief. And they pretty much are just like grumpy and angry, and they fucking hate each other. And they stumble into this lighthouse where they find this old man, Sylvester, and he pretty much agrees to let them stay there. And Sylvester is creepy.
Girl, with all the stipulations, yes, he let them stay there. Like it was not an easy breezy. This man said that that they could not come out of the room at after a certain time. Like he was locking them in. They can't roam the house after a certain time. That right there would have you sleeping outside of the lighthouse. Boy, I don't need to stay with you. What do you mean? I'm locked in a room.
Yeah, like definitely, definitely they would go in and he would lock up the door, and they would hear things in the hallway like chains and stuff, and he had told them that it was ghosts because he said that some prisoners had broken and he ended up having to kill them, and so now like the ghosts, the prisoners ghosts roam the halls at night is what he was telling them of like why they couldn't.
It's not
um,
realistic, boy.
yeah, and so I was like, that's crazy. That
The
was
fact that they were like, I mean, Enzo was definitely like, I don't trust this man,
yeah.
and she was too, but she was still too damn friendly to me.
I think she was like, yeah, she was very nice to him, and he was creepy as hell. And so he took that as like, oh, she's being nice to me, like I can try to, let me touch her, let me get a little bit closer to her because she's being nice to me. And Enzo wasn't having none of that shit at
No,
all.
not at
Like
he
he
was
did
not
not,
feeling him at all.
he did not like this old ass man at all. He was fed the fuck up. And he was really annoyed. And then they were asking like if he had a radio so they could leave and stuff. And the old man was just being really weird about everything and about them being able to like get help and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, like we can only like other boats and stuff only come out here every so often, like so we can't really radio for anybody." Like it was just such a weird, he was fucking weird.
He was a liar, is what he was.
Mm-hmm. And so they
He
pretty
was just.
they stay
Lion.
there with him, and pretty much they're just navigating, staying in this funky ass lighthouse with this weird ass man, and also their hate, and they have to share a room and share a bed, which I love me a good, enemies to lovers. There's one bed. That's my thing. So I was like, they gotta share a bed. And then the sexual tension was bad because obviously the sex was crazy the first time. So they both were like little fiends. They just hated each other and they wanted to hate each other so bad.
Like to the point where it was just like y'all need to grow up because
I'm like, if
y'all
y'all,
in the same room, y'all got to stick together anyways. Like y'all need each other. Get it together.
I'm like, if y'all don't just fucking go on, okay? Just go on about your business. It's fine. Who's gonna know? Y'all are stranded. Nobody's gonna know. So that
Like you
was,
can hate her after this.
yes. I just
He
loved
kept
Indulge.
calling her Bella Landra, which
Yeah.
was beautiful thief, and that shit would crack me the fuck up because he was saying it and it sounded so pretty, but like he was just like you pretty ass, thieving ass bitch.
And every time she would get mad because she's like, "What does that mean?" And like at first he wouldn't tell her like what it meant, and he kept calling her that. And I just thought that was funny. His character was so well written. I really
Yeah, I liked him.
like. I was like, "This my man." Okay, that's my man. Like I I,
Yeah.
I enjoyed his character. Did you have a favorite quote?
Um, favorite quote. Let me see. I don't think so. I I loved when he was speaking his little language and I kept looking up like what he was saying and let me see. I think I put it in my notes which one. On one of them, I can't remember exactly like the context of what he said it in, but I looked it up and he had told her, but only when I'm ready to go with you, we will drown together, beautiful thief. But he had said it in his language and he was like, "Más solo cuando son," or whatever he said. And I was like, okay, my heart is given to you, sir, because
Like I'm
talk to
telling.
me in another language, especially a beautiful language like he was speaking, you
If
know?
y'all read this book, you guys need to do the audiobook. Please. You got to do the audiobook
His
because
Italian was just so good.
it's
Like,
just like you have to do the audiobook. It made it that much better.
I agree.
Okay,
Did you have a favorite quote?
I had a couple quotes, so we just going to choose one. Um I would say this one. It says, "Does it hurt, baby?" he asked, not being able to scream for me like you want to. I was like,
Mm.
that was just he really did it for me, he really did. i was like I was like, this is the character that I needed this character. I really did. He was great.
Yeah, I feel like after our last book of dark romance, I definitely needed me some Enzo.
Mm-hmm. Like he
He was aggressive. I don't
very.
know if you had a favorite sex scene, but girl, when he was dunking her ass in that water, and he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Your pussy getting wetter," or he said, "Your pussy getting tighter from you being on the brink of death." I was like, "Girl,
Yeah.
how?" But okay,
You're like, I guess. Well, here we
I
go.
guess.
No, literally, yeah, he was very aggressive, and I like that. I was like, okay, I'm like, he aggressive, but like in the best way. Like yeah, like pretty much all their sex scenes were 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I
10 out.
agree.
Like this was a good ass book. This was a really good.
Yeah,
I don't
even
think
their
I.
first one, because she was squirting and stuff, and like she was like, "I've never done that before," and he was like, they just don't be hitting the spot right, baby."
Like he was like cocky, like he knew, like
Mm-hmm.
she's telling him that, and he's like, "Girl, ain't nobody hitting it like me." Like I know, like he was he was so cocky the entire time, and he knew, even though she like tried to play the little like I hate you, and didn't want to be anywhere around him. Like
That sexual tension was so well written in this book, like
it was like you could feel it.
really well
You
written.
could feel the tension. You could
No,
you
because every time they were like, oh, we stepped into a room and like I think she went and sat next to Sylvester at one point after like they had like, an exchange of words or whatever. And he was like, that pisses me off, like for reasons I don't care to explain. And she was like, just doing little stuff that would irritate him because like she was like intentionally not sitting next to him or like
Mhm.
not looking at him. And he was like, bitch, I see you. Like, I
Like they
really
were
see you,
both
and I'm gonna fuck you.
uh they were both so fucking petty to each to each other. Like they were tit for tat. It really was tit for tat. They and I was just like, y'all just like each other. That's all that is.
That's true.
Y'all just like each other. Like get over yourselves.
Just have sex and be quiet
All
at
right.
this point
What did
because
you think of the ending?
um with the okay, so to unpack it a little bit, with the whole daughter situation, fucking wild, okay, because I kind of figured that was what was happening, but I didn't expect her to be like as I mean, I figured she would have Stockholm syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't think that she would be, you know, what happened to her, what
Mm-hmm.
happened. I don't want to spoil that part, but
Yeah.
like what happened to her, I didn't think that was going to happen. Like I thought that, it was going to be a happier ending for everybody. And yeah,
I agree.
but I do like how, like, Sawyer was able to, become a different person so that she didn't have to.
I just didn't want her to run forever. Like that was like that ending. I was like, if this ends and this bitch still gonna be on the run, I'm gonna be so sad for her. Like, cause she's just been running and running and running, and then like I'm like that just sucks to just have nowhere to like call home. You can't work because nobody can know your information. Like, I felt so sad for her.
Yeah, like her story in general, like with her brother and like the whole reason why she was running was so fucked up. Like it was really understandable. I think that's why Enzo kind of got over the whole situation because like it was so understandable when you found out why she was running
Mm,
and like why she was just like, I can't be in this, situation anymore.
yeah, I just, her story made
But
me so sad. I was like, I know she's like not the best person, but she's not the worst person. She'd have been through some shit. But
I
like,
don't even think she was a bad person. I think she was just a person who had to do what she had to do because of circumstances.
yeah. And I think when they had that talk about their childhoods, then he like kind of understood, like, oh, she wasn't just this thieving, conniving bitch that just wanted to ruin my life.
Right.
Like
But
she
his story was sad too.
was. I was like, damn, shit.
His mama was not shit. Like his mama
Yeah.
just said, you know what? I'll be back and never came back.
She said,
And
I don't want to
then,
be a mom no more. I'm gonna just head out. And
you
then just
know,
never came
you
back.
know a mom like her.
Stop.
But but yeah, like I don't know. I feel like he definitely he went through some shit, she went through some shit, and I feel like them understanding each other's stories kind of brought them to be more of that like friendship, lover type of relationship than the complete enemies that they were at the beginning of the book. Because baby, they hated each other
Mm.
after he found out she stole.
He's like, not me giving her good dick and then her stealing my identity. Like,
And she felt bad about it. That's why I feel for her because she really was like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is the best dick I ever got in my life. He don't really deserve this, but like, I have to start living another life, and this is the victim. And she felt bad, but
yeah,
she
but that's
also she
getting the
was
best of his
dirty.
life and then stealing his identity is crazy.
Is it not? It
That's
is
why
a little wild.
it is. I would say that I would definitely 100% recommend this book. 10 out of 10. Would
I
you?
I would recommend it. Yeah, definitely would recommend it. I say
I think
um
like the perfect balance of like storyline and smut. Like the sex scenes were like amazing, but also like the storyline was very good. And it was very good on like building you up to where you're like, oh God, like what is happening? Who the fuck is this person? What's happening? What are these sounds they're hearing? Like, you know, there was like so much going on. Plus the bomb ass sex scenes. It was just really good. What would you rate?
Yeah, I rated it a 5. Um, there's nothing in this book that I would have changed. What about you?
I agree, a 5.
Yeah, I was shocked because I was like, this is another HD book. We know how we felt about Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. So
Yeah,
like I was a little nervous diving into it, but I will say for like a very blind read, I really, really enjoyed it. And
me
I
too.
would I would read it again and I would recommend it to other people.
Definitely. So if you guys are looking for a book with like a sexy man with a sexy little accent
Some
and
frenemies, some enemies to
yeah,
lovers
some enemies
trope.
to lovers, this is the one. This would definitely be a good read for you.
I agree. So check us out or check this book out and leave us some comments and let us know what you guys think about the book.
Thank you for listening and join us next week where we will be reviewing Neon Gods by Katie Robert.
Bye, guys.
Bye.